History is defined by moments, where everything changes in an instant. Welcome to History's Incident Files. Hit subscribe and let's explore the past.
Welcome back to History Incident Files. I am your host, Stephen Franklin. Today, we are traveling back to the most chaotic, blood-soaked year in Roman history, 69 AD. A year where the Roman Empire came to the very brink of self-destruction, and it all started with a single, desperate suicide. We just hit the ground running in 69 AD, and we are ready to explore history. Enter Servius Sulpicius Galba, Emperor number 1. He was a 73-year-old career politician and general, acclaimed by his legions in Spain. But if Romans thought this stern aristocrat was going to restore peace, they were dead wrong. By June of 68 AD, the Roman state had reached a perilous fracture. For nearly a century, the Pax Romana had been sustained by the dynastic legitimacy of the Julio-Claudian house, the bloodline of Julius Caesar and Caesar Augustus. But when Nero, deposed by the Senate and abandoned by his own Praetorian Guard, shiveringly forced a dagger into his throat in a suburban villa, he left no heir to claim the imperial purple. His dying words were, "What an artist dies in me," that marked the end of a dynasty. Nero's death exposed a terrifying structural truth that the emperors had hidden for a century. The Principate was not a divinely ordained monarchy. It was a military autocracy, veiled in republican vocabulary. As the historian Tacitus famously wrote, the secret of empire was now revealed. An emperor could be made elsewhere than at Rome. Galba was a relic of an ancient, uncompromising Roman aristocracy. He stubbornly preserved archaic customs, growing up hard, parsimonious, and unyielding. Galba's extreme stinginess proved to be his undoing. On his march to Rome, he executed Nero's generals without trial and decimated thousands of unarmed marines. Even worse, Nymphidius Sabinus had promised the Praetorian Guard a massive donativum of 7,500 sesterces each to betray Nero. Galba flatly refused to pay, declaring, "I choose my soldiers, I do not buy them." It was a fatal mistake. You do not deny the men who guard your life their blood money. January 15th, 69 AD. The division in the Roman state reached a bloody climax. The Rhine legions had already revolted, acclaims of Aulus Vitellius as emperor echoing from Germany. This is the Lacus Curtius, in the heart of the Roman Forum. Quid est hoc? False rumors were spread that Otho was dead, luring Galba out to assert control. Unfortunately, it was a trap. Armed Othonian cavalry burst into the forum, trampling senators and citizens alike. In a panic, Galba adopted a young noble named Piso as his successor. This crushed the hopes of Otho, Galba's early supporter, who resolved to take the crown by force. As the Haruspex Umbricius warned Galba that the entrails revealed an imminent plot, Otho stood right next to him. Interpreting the omen as a sign of his own success, Otho slipped away to the Golden Milestone, where 23 Praetorians hailed him as emperor. The soldiers swarmed Galba. In his final moments, he offered his neck to their blades, crying out, "Do your work and strike, if it is for the good of the Roman people." A soldier thrust his sword deep into Galba's throat. On this dark day, Roman history witnessed an act of absolute heroism. Centurion Sempronius Densus stood alone to guard Piso. With his centurion's vine cane and a drawn dagger, he fought off a mob of armed assassins, buying Piso precious minutes to escape into the Temple of Vesta. But the sanctuary was not respected. Under Otho's direct orders, Piso was dragged from the steps of Vesta and butchered. Galba's head was fixed on a pole. Rome had a new emperor, born of betrayal, Marcus Salvius Otho. To everyone's surprise, Otho proved to be a highly efficient governor, but his reign in Rome would last just 95 days, because while Otho was securing the capital, 70,000 battle-hardened Rhine legionaries were marching south to place their own candidate on the throne, Aulus Vitellius. On April 14th, 69 AD, the two armies met at the First Battle of Bedriacum. 40,000 Roman soldiers slaughtered one another in the mud. At Brixellum, his remaining troops begged Otho to fight on, but Otho refused to let more Roman citizens die for his ambition, declaring, "It is far more just to perish one for all than many for one." At dawn on April 16th, he drove a single dagger into his chest. Vitellius's 8-month reign was a masterclass in fiscal ruin and self-indulgence. He spent 900 million sesterces on lavish banquets, gorging on flamingo tongues and peacock brains while Rome starved. In July, the legions of Egypt, Judea, and Syria rose in revolt, acclaims of Titus Flavius Vespasianus as emperor echoing across the east. On October 24th, 69 AD, the armies clashed at the Second Battle of Bedriacum. Flavian forces broke through the gates of Rome, engaging in fierce street fighting. This is the ultimate horror of 69 AD. In the desperate siege, the holiest temple in Rome, the Temple of Jupiter, was set ablaze. It was burned to the ground, the symbolic death of the old Roman order. As Vespasian's forces closed in, Vitellius' supporters besieged Vespasian's brother on the Capitoline Hill, setting the timber roof ablaze. The great temple of Jupiter was engulfed in massive orange flames, marble columns crumbling into ash, the symbolic death of the old Roman order. December 20th, 69 AD. Flavian forces dragged Vitellius out of a doorkeeper's lodge where he hid under a dirty mattress. They drove him to the Gemonian stairs, the stairs of mourning. When a tribune mocked his degradation, Vitellius uttered his final words, "Yet I was once your emperor." He fell under a shower of blows. On December 21st, the Senate formally recognized Vespasian as emperor. The year of the four emperors was over. Vespasian established the Flavian dynasty, which would rule for 27 years of stability, and soon began building the Roman Colosseum. Flavian coins minted with Vespasian's portrait restored confidence to the Roman economy. Peace returned to the Roman Forum as storm clouds cleared over the Tiber River. The year 69 AD proved that the Roman Empire was built not on divine right, but on the swords and backs of the legions. Hit that subscribe and like buttons for more history incident files, and we'll see you on the next incident.